Today in Get in the Lab, we're doing a bonus episode on numbers. Why? Because like my friend Jeff says, you got to know your numbers. Numbers and metrics mean nothing if you don't do anything with it, okay? So we're going to do a case study on how I tripled my Facebook likes in less than 3 weeks. P.S. Why are we talking about metrics on a self-dev show? Well, because numbers, despite their face value, they give you validation, okay? That's social proof. And social proof or that validation gives you peace of mind. So you're not feeling like you're falling into a void with all of your efforts, okay? So let's do this. More on that in 3, 2, 1. Plato said, know thyself. It's not always easy, but it is necessary. This is Get in the Lab. Welcome back to the lab. My name is Megan. Here on this show, I give you the tools, the mental hacks to weather the storm of running your own business, because we know shit gets hard, okay? So today we're going to talk about numbers, and I really want to thank you guys for being here, waiting for this episode, because, I had to figure it out. I was like, okay, I've run ads before, but why is it working this time? And I wasn't doing this blindly. Okay. So let's preface that. I was like, okay, I seem to see a little bit of a pattern, at who I'm affecting when I post, because I've just been running experiments, right? We've just been running experiments kind of willy-nilly since the very beginning of this show, but with the help of my friends and some very good hard talks from many of my friends, many of them who have been pushing me to be like, why don't you have a book yet? Why don't you have a course yet? And I said, slow your roll, chief. Like my other friend says, slow your roll, chief. I got to figure this shit out. Okay. So I feel like I'm not 100% figured it out, guys, but I want to be as transparent as I can be as far as why I think some things are working and why some things are not. Okay. And so that's what we're going to do and discuss here on this bonus episode. It's not like usually we do the bonus episodes on Thursday, but I think it's relevant to talk about it now since this is what I'm seeing. And so I just want to kind of hit this episode right now because I'm seeing that we're kind of in a way peaking or plateauing with the likes, and I want to discuss and share with you guys why I think that is, okay? This theory as far as, how I got these likes in such a short amount of time, okay? And what these likes actually are going to convert to, okay? So let's talk about it. And if you'll excuse me, I have to, the voice is just a little bit deeper today because I'm getting, I just got sick like today. And I was really thinking I wasn't going to make it to record an episode, but I popped a few of these bad boys. Raw garlic, nice, beautiful pieces of garlic that I cut up this morning and chomped on those, and it burned like hell. And I think it burned a little bit of the infection in my throat. So that's good things. But after this, I'm going to be going straight to bed again because I feel it kind of coming back. So we're pushing through because that's what you got to do when you have momentum in your business and you don't have any other means of other people handling your business. So you got to do it. And that's just what it means to set it up in the beginning. So, okay. We're talking about numbers today, specifically Facebook likes. Okay, so I've seen something crazy happen, which is we went from 232 likes to 750 likes. Okay, and I'll tell you straight up right now, it was through ads. But I've ran ads before, guys, and it never had this type of growth because I was doing it I wasn't using the data. I wasn't collecting any data. I wasn't using any data or researching who my audiences was for those ads to be effective. Okay. So last year when Kevin and I were co-hosting the show, we were talking about how Facebook had lost its effectiveness for us. Okay. And so I want to point that out, that was a big mental mistake on our part and on my part that I continued to hold all the way up until very recently, about how And so we used to look at Facebook as just something that we had to be on, and it was outdated and it wasn't going to work for us anymore, because now Facebook had changed, right? Now you had to play in this new playground where you had to pay to actually get reach, right? And if we're going to be very honest with ourselves as people who are running businesses, okay, you can't expect to have everything for free. I think that's a very misguided, very entitled, selfish way of running your business. Facebook is a business, okay? And so in order to play within their playground, you have to pay in order to get the reach that you want. And so right off, it's understanding that. So if you want to reach people in Facebook, just know that you are going to have to pay. You really can't get around that. But let's talk about how much, okay? So usually when I run a campaign for ads, I put a cap on it, and my max cap is like $30. So I'm usually spending around, let's see, $1, like 70 cents to about $2 per lead. Okay. So this is something that I'm going to break down for you guys when we go into my computer in a minute and we look at the actual numbers and screenshots, and we'll go actually into my Facebook insights. But I just want to share with you guys and preface this episode that this is not all about the numbers. This is about the mind shift of understanding how to use the platform that you are marketing in, right? So first and foremost, this episode might be all over the place, but forgive me, I'm sick. I'm just, the brain's not 100% today. I would say that we used to think of Facebook as outdated, right? And I was just saying that Facebook had just changed its rules. And so if you still want to play within those rules, you have to learn them, okay? So basically, Facebook demands, in order for you to get the reach that you once got before a long time ago, right now you have to pay for it using ads. Okay, so cool. If you can accept that, then you're good. Okay, then you can keep listening to this episode. So we accepted that. We go, okay, if I want to reach people on Facebook, there's a lot of models out there, a lot of great models and friends even who are using Facebook ads to grow their business, to push people to webinars, to books or whatever. And I was like, I can do that. So let's do that. Let's try that. So how do I do that? Business is a numbers game. And this is something that one of my mentors has been hammering into my head. It's a numbers game. Okay. Because you want to reach this many people, right? So say you want to sell this many units, you want to live off of this much money every month or whatever. Okay. So you got to start with this goal in mind. And that goal, that monetary goal, that financial goal needs to be real for you. Okay. It doesn't have to be $1 million or whatever, but I set a goal for myself. And from there I'll go, okay, we kind of have to work kind of backwards. How many people do we have to reach in order for us to sell to get to this number? That way I can have peace of mind, right? That I'm going to be contributing from here on out as a equal wife, an equal partner, as satisfied as myself as an entrepreneur in my business, and make sure that my business is viable for, X amount of years and maybe till I die, hopefully, right? So you kind of have to work on a numbers base. I talk a lot about the emotional side of business, the mentality of running a business. And it's kind of funny because the mentality of running a business is sometimes shutting off those feels, that emotion that makes you too scared to sell or to ask for what you're worth, right? And I feel like I've been scared for a long time and I just didn't know it. Or I put a different label on the word scared. But in business, there is the sale or there's no sale. There's no in between sale. Okay. Actually, no, that's take that back. Sometimes you have friends that feel maybe bad for you that nobody registered for your shit, and they will buy a ticket or they'll buy a book. They won't read it. They won't attend, but they want to support you. Maybe they feel bad that you didn't get as many sales as you want, and they will do that because that happened to me. Okay. And so I don't want to be in that position anymore. I want to be able to stand tall and be confident about what I'm putting out into the world and know that it's not just making money, but changing the world in a positive way, right? Win-win. So it's really sometimes about shutting off that part of your brain that is scared to sell, or that is telling yourself, you're not good enough, or you're not ready, or there's a mistake, there's a typo in there, or you didn't use enough fancy transitions or music, or, the camera angle is off. All these things that run in your mind. Sometimes you have to shut that off in order to realize that you're running a business. And then that's why there's this tone right now where it's like, I have to tell that to myself sometimes. And sometimes, lab rats, you need to tell that to yourself. If you want to be serious about running a business for yourself, that is a real mental, hard, honest look and talk that you have with you, right? That the first relationship that you're in is with you. And if you can't be real with you, which is hard, okay? I'm not talking to you from like, I'm always real with myself. I just told you guys for like how long, for like 3 years, I was scared. I was really scared. And I would hide that by, I would show fancy stuff in my videos, or I would give things away that I probably shouldn't have. And I would hide that fear in all kinds of creative ways that I've habitually done in the past. But this show is not always just it in itself, the whole brand. It's not always about making money. And just because it may sound like I'm in sell mode on, it is just because I'm now understanding as a business person who's running a business for themselves that there is that separation, right? So I think it's something that I should preface before getting into the meat of this show. I'm sorry I'm taking a long time, but I just want you guys to understand that it takes time, right? It takes time to kind of make that switch, but first and foremost to be aware that there is that issue that you have with, maybe you have a problem selling and maybe you're not making enough money to support yourself, or it's not consistent or whatever. It starts there. Okay. So too much serious going on. We need to lighten it up a little bit. Check this out, guys. Can you see that? We'll play with this guy in a minute, but like I said, numbers are just numbers. Okay. It's what you do with the numbers that is the most important thing. And so, like I said, I don't know 100% why this is happening. I'm not 100% sure on how Facebook ads work, but I do have a theory, and the theory seems to be working. So let me share that with you guys. Okay, so let's discuss this. Okay, one part of my theory. Okay, I had to confirm my assumptions about who my audience was. So I had the assumption that it was always going to be men because it's just always kind of been that way. I've seen it in the analytics on YouTube, on Facebook, in my personal life. I have a lot of guy friends, and I needed to confirm that, and I needed to figure out why. Okay, number two part of this theory was I ran a couple different ads to find out what men would like, okay, and why. So my conclusions, my results of these tests of running different ads in front of certain people was that men like a pretty face and a free gift. So I would choose different thumbnails of my face, right, and see which one got the most engagement or the most reach, and then the most engagement, right? So this is not a toot my own horn, I think I'm pretty, but I'm confident about who I am. So I let that show through my videos. Okay. So, being attractive, and that right there is very subjective, right? Like I certainly only speak to a certain demographic of men who will click on my face just because I'm pretty. But believe me, it's not enough to just be pretty. It's not enough. It's definitely not enough to just be pretty. Okay. Believe me, I've been doing this for 3 years. I've looked the same. Okay. So it's the product, the content, the delivery, the branding, the design, the theory behind why has all contributed to these numbers. Okay. And it goes back to saying, give them what they want, but deliver what they need. Okay. So this was interesting because I found out that people have these sort of surface desires, right? Pretty thing, pretty package, looks pretty on the outside, but it also has to deliver once they open that package. If it's shit and they open that package, and if it's shit, it's like, forget it. They won't convert. It won't be a converting number. They won't like the page. They won't opt into the, email list or whatever. So it still matters. The content inside still matters. Okay. So just being pretty, just having pretty design, just having nice packaging really isn't enough, but it's something to think about because that's what gets people's attention. That's the first thing they see, right? Okay, let's take a break. Okay, number 3 part to my theory is that the call to action had to be right. So the copy, right? So I targeted and I retargeted those people who had not opted in, and retargeting is just creating another ad that's like saying like, wait a second, hold on, you forgot, it's like retarget, right? So we did that, and I pushed them to one thing. I made it very simple, very clear, made all the calls to action very clear. I tried to show in these ads what people wanted on the surface and delivered what they needed in the content, right? So that's just what I did. I pushed them to a site called freevideopodcastingcourse.com. Thank God that domain was available. And it's in the name, right? It's in the name. So free. People love free stuff. Like, let's just be honest, male or female, doesn't matter. So the thing is that I began to target men who perhaps liked, a pretty face and a free gift. Those were the surface desires, right? I mean, if you just break it down, you don't even it doesn't have to be me, but if you had an attractive face and a free gift, who wouldn't click on that? Okay. So number 4 part of my theory is the medium, right? I decided to use what? Video, video. The thumbnail, they see a thumbnail. So images are still important. And the copy on those images, but having a video that's engaging, that's high quality, that delivers a message, that shows off the personality, that has effective video branding, right? That's something that I'm going to talk about in free training this week. Details in the description. I always feel like, personally, you'll love me once you get to know me. In person, guys, if you were to meet me in person, I'm very quiet. I'm very shy. But until we get one-on-one with each other, I'm like a puppy. I'm like loyal as hell. I'm crazy, super giving and generous of my time and my energy to friends that know me on a personal level. So I know that that's my strength. And so the fact that I can portray that in video and make you at least feel a hint of that feeling of it's one-on-one, it's you and me, and that's something that you should always be kind of doing in your video, as far as effective video branding, is feeling like this person is speaking to me, like just me. And that's amazing. Gary Vee always does that with his videos. I always feel like he's talking directly to me. So number 5 part of my theory as to why this is all working is that I kept running the ads that worked. Okay. So once you find something that works, keep running it. You have to pay that thing to keep it running, right? So yes, I did spend some money, and say thank you, right? I think people underestimate the thank you. So when anybody shared or liked, I would say thank you. Not liked. Actually, if anybody shared or commented, I would say thank you, and I would write back in the comments or something like that. And I even made videos specifically just saying thank you, and I did that twice. So I made one where we were at 300 some likes, and then I made one when we were at 600 some likes or something like that. And then I made one where we were at 730 likes or something. And just to say thank you really quick and to make that video not like like with your phone video, but like with my legit camera kind of video and saying thank you, it's a big deal, you know. And anybody who shared it, I private messaged them and I gave them a unlisted copy of the free video podcasting course. So I was just in giving mode, as well as selling mode. And I was selling me. I was just selling my brand and my message and why I'm here and who I am. I wasn't really saying like, buy my shit. I was just selling me as a brand, right? Like, hey, I'm here. I've been doing this for a while. I think I figured it out. I'm selling that, right? And that's something that you can think about putting forth in your brand whenever you market. And believe me, you're always marketing. Like, no matter what, whether it's a vlog, whether it's a little video, whatever, you're marketing you. You're selling you. As a distributor of whatever you are selling, your message, right? Your face, whatever. Okay, so like I said, guys, numbers are just numbers, but you need to get your numbers down, meaning you need to understand what's your number here that you need to reach so you can make this, right? At the very end, like I talked about before, so that you can change the world in your own way, right? Businesses change the world in a big way or in a small way, right? So for me, I'm shooting for 1,000 over here, and I want to change the lives of 1,000 people in a big way or a small way. And it all matters, right? Whether it's like, sweet, you taught me sync, clap and sync, right? You taught me that. I was like, that was amazing. People were saying that to me and I was like, dope. That's true, because when I learned that, I was like, dope. But that was like 6 years ago. Okay, so I've decided that's why I'm here. This is my purpose. I've created this purpose for myself. And after 27 years of being very unsure about my existence, it's to be the bridge, not the monument, right? I'm here to give you guys access using video, right? Because that's what I love. That's what I love to use. So anyway, let's just go into my Facebook really quick, okay? So you can see what the hell I'm talking about, because it's hard. I know you can't see exactly. But let's get into my Facebook insights, and you can join me there. Okay, guys, we're in my Facebook fan page, 769. Okay, so let's go to why that is. 2 something for the longest time, right? And then like, boom, it exploded. And these are all, mostly they're paid likes. But we started to experiment right here. See how organic and paid likes are almost the same. With the type of content that we were putting out. So it was like a vlog that focused on those surface likes, the surface wants. Like I told you guys, pretty face, kind of, if you think that being attractive is not a selling point, and that you can't use that, then that's very naive. And so I just try to use whatever I have, because I need to use whatever I have. So everybody is attractive in their own way, because attractive is a subjective term, but you have to look your best and you have to feel confident in being you. I think that's very important too. I mean, just on a very self-dev kind of like note, because I would feel, let me just go on a tangent really quick, because I never felt pretty. Let's just be honest. Not pretty, because I don't compare, and we're going to talk about all those same things that I feel like every girl goes through because of our society, which is, I'm not the typical pretty. I'm not stereotypical pretty. So I'm my own pretty, right? I'm now very confident about who I am, and my ethnicity or my face or even my body type. I'm very comfortable with who I am now. And I think it takes women in general some time to be comfortable with that. So if you don't feel that way, please move in that direction and surround yourself with people who support that, view of yourself, and always support that view of yourself by yourself. Okay. So a big thing is figuring out who your audience is. So before, this used to be like 60% of men and like maybe 40% women. So now it's kind of neck and neck about who I reach. And looks like my demos between like 18 obviously for men, right, and to 44 for men, and it's a little bit smaller on women. So these are the people who have liked the page. These are the people I've reached. It's pretty neck and neck, right? But the people that engage, okay, it's pretty neck and neck as well. And that's because I feel like I found a balance where on the surface, I give men what they kind of surface want, right? So pretty face, free gift. Women come into, they bypass that. They go, okay, cool, whatever. And then they go, maybe they think that too, pretty face, free gift. But then they get into the content of it and they see that, okay, the podcast is like a self-dev podcast and she's a woman and she's, breaking free from, working basically for her partner in life and doing her own thing. And they want that too, right? That's a very womanly thing that I think a lot of women entrepreneurs in my position would feel. We targeted people in the United States, and guess what? We're reaching people in the Philippines because I'm Filipino. And then for some reason, India is number 3. But if we take a look at the reach, it spiked here on September 3rd. So if we take a look of the active posts on September 3rd, and we take a look at what actually got people to click in, it was this guy right here. Okay. So we have this guy right here. Okay. And it's a free gift. I designed this book myself. And it's a buddy text, and it's not even polished that well. I wrote it very, very quickly, basically off of a transcript of the video course that I made available, and just made a buddy text through it. But see how the packaging and the branding and the positioning and the ads all kind of work together to produce these type of numbers. Okay. Organically reached 800, paid reached almost 4K, and 200 clicks, right? So that's 200 conversions basically. And look at the comments. I've never had this many comments on shit before. So that's a really nice test. We go, okay, cool. Let's keep running that. And so far it's been pushing people to like the page, where it just kind of keeps growing. And the higher that number goes, the more people are willing to click yes, like the page, because they're getting these, social proof. Versus somebody seeing like, oh, it's 10 people like the page. I'm like, well, why should I like the page if only 10 people liked it, right? So that really helps. I think when you test things very quickly, you can create, like I said, that momentum for yourself. Okay. So when we go back to insights, here's some other one. Let me give you something for being awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of the Lab Rat family. Saying again, thank you. This is a thank you one. So this one, we want to make sure that the thumbnail, right? It's not just like you with your eyes halfway open is an effective thumbnail, right? This matches the copy. Let me give you something for being awesome. Thank you. Hashtag thank you so much for being a part of the Lab Rat fan bam over here. 388 Facebook likes. Please share this page with anyone who might be interested. I asked people to share. Okay. And I hashtag, dad hair. Dad hair. I really didn't know who my audience was. I would be like, it's males aged, 18 to 35. But really it's so much more deeper than that. And you can only really find that out by running ads, spending a little bit of money, and paying attention and measuring things and testing things and doing it as fast as you can, right? So you can find out and eliminate things that don't work and move on things that do work, right? And create a momentum for yourself. Okay. So I just showed you guys the biggest converters for the likes on the page, and it was because it was playing to the surface desires or wants, right, of my audience, which were men. Okay, so even though it's kind of neck and neck, I still capitalize upon that, where I go, okay, I feel that people like a pretty face and a free gift. And I think that kind of works for anybody, male and female, right? A pretty package and a free gift, and it looks good, right? Because that's the first thing that they see. They go, ooh, shiny, ooh, shiny. And then they go in there, and then if it's shit product, then they go away. They don't convert. Okay. But it has to be the goods. It has to be good. And then you can convert. Okay. So that is what I found out. There's a lot of people out there that they have good shit, but they're not, getting in front of the line. You can move, right? You can pay to get in front of the line. You can get a fast pass, and you can do that on Facebook by paying for ads. And so why not do that? It's part of business. Okay. So I'll see you back at my desk. Okay. So let's sum up. So we're back from Facebook Insights, and I found out, let's sum it up. So one, I found out who my audience was, and then I tested different ads with video and offered something of value to them, okay, just for free. So I created a high quality product using video, good design, effective branding, good copy, and I engaged with the people that engaged, right? So I made content to say thank you. And when we made some traction, I made some content and I engaged in the comments as much as I could. Big important thing is speed. So you can't kind of wait to see which one, you can't wait for your success, basically. Okay. So if you want to create momentum, you can't just do one thing and then be like, okay, you can't just run one ad and be like, okay. You have to keep like pressing, right? You have to keep going. You have to speed up in order for you to what? Create momentum. And then what? Set up your dominoes. So you can set up your dominoes and create your own overnight success story. Refer to episode number 10, right? What was that? Episode number 10? 9? 12? One of those. Setting up your dominoes, okay? So you have to move fast. You have to test and you have to pay attention. And you can do this all within like a week or two, okay? Okay. This is something that my friend Jeff tells me all the time. If it's good enough, if it doesn't embarrass you, put it out, publish it, okay? Test it. Let's see. And run it. And I was like, okay. So this is something I had to let go of personally because I would be like, oh, it's not perfect. The whole perfect, mumbo jumbo that everybody talks about these days. But you can always make it better. Everybody talks about it, but we still all do it, right? So you can always make it better. I just updated the videos right now to be re-uploaded. Now that I have like a legit product book graphic, I can put that next to my face now, right? So you can always go back and edit it and make it better. But if you need to know, because you kind of need to know what you're working with. You need a baseline. If you don't have a baseline, if you're not measuring shit, what gets measured gets managed. If you're not measuring stuff, then how are you going to track your progress, right? Okay, so like I said, you can't wait for your success or social proof that your shit is real. You need to move. You need to act. You need to get in front of people that might like what you're about, right? Nowadays, if you're going to play the Facebook game, now you have to pay for it. That's just what it is. But I mean, like, my list doubled, which it wasn't very big, so at least it doubled. But you can't wait, right? You can't wait anymore. So number 4 is retarget those who didn't opt into your whatever, right? So you should be trying to give away something. If they didn't opt into it, you can retarget those people and catch some of those people that kind of fell off or maybe didn't have time to view it or something like that, and test different things. So right now we're testing the difference between the mobile audience and the desktop audience, because that makes a difference in how you perceive ads and how you receive content. Like on mobile, I'm rarely watching any video or YouTube stuff because I don't have like my ad blocker on there and stuff like that. So the behaviors are different, and it's something to pay attention to. But for me, most of the time, we're still testing that stuff out, but we're getting a pretty good lineup between the two of them, between desktop and between mobile. So like I said, guys, last year Kevin and I said that Facebook had no benefit for us on the show, and so now I'm eating my words because Facebook, just because Facebook changed its rules, but now I'm eating my words because Facebook is just all about ads. It's just like buying billboards and shit, or like what they used to do, like direct mail, or whatever. It's advertising. So it's up to you whether you want to use it and take advantage of this platform, but I think it's naive or maybe just short-sighted or fearful. It's probably just fearful because you don't want to spend money, which is exactly what I thought before. Like, you don't want to spend money in Facebook because you used to get that shit for free. But if you're running a business and you're creating real results with it, like, why wouldn't you want to spend that money? Why wouldn't you want to invest into your business and to get in front of the people that actually care about what you do, right? So, yes, it costs money, but, it's a business. It's a business. It's a business dealing with a business. So I feel like now I feel like that was kind of silly for me to think like that, right? To be feeling entitled to get everything for free. We were supposed to be talking about the budgeted mindset, but I think, this episode right now is a very clear indication of how I used to be very budgeted with my mindset, because I was budgeted about my business. And so now I'm just smarter about what I spend my money on. And my mindset is no longer limited by how much I'm spending in my business. So you want to make sure that it's good to dream big, okay? Please dream big. Ground yourself in real, actionable, measurable goals that you set for you. That's right for you. But careful of the line that may hinder you, where you're like you don't want to spend on anything, and it almost bleeds into your beliefs about your business and your confidence to sell your own product and brand, like for me for a long time. So, having budgeted business like spending is just to be careful about it. That way it doesn't leak into having a budgeted mindset. I think that's very dangerous, because you get into the habit of dreaming small and expecting small things from yourself, which is sad. That's sad, for a long time I thought like that. So now I know better, and I think I need to be more aware about that habit to think that way. And we all have that gear within us it's rooted in shame and in fear. And it's okay. It's okay to have that, but to just realize this is just my fear or my shame talking right now, or thinking right now, or acting right now. And so, let me go this other way, right? Let me go this other way. So let's take a break and hear a word from our sponsor, Kimchi Socks. All right, and we're back. Kimchi Socks. You guys can find the link in the description. You can get a discount for Kimchi Socks if you want some cool socks like mine. Very cool. They approached me through email. I guys already told you the story, but I'm excited. I'm excited for this guy and for his startup. So, let's get back to the episode. So, anyway, okay, we're on our last limb here, guys. It's like liquid. Cough drops. Okay, that feels better. Okay, so we're at 7 something whatever likes on the Facebook fan page, but they're not crazy big, huge numbers like some brands out there, but they make me really, really happy, because I was able to hypothesize about how to reach people, how to reach my target audience, and figure out who they are. Like, that's a big deal, figuring out who your audience is and finding something that resonates with them, which I feel like I have done. Right. And it makes me really happy, because it feels like when you find your people, like when I found my people in podcasting, I was like, oh my God, there's people dealing with the same things as me. Right. But then when you find it within your business and you go, oh my God, these are my potential customers, and this is what I can give them, and this is how I can help them. It's a validation of the heart and care that you put into your content, into the work that you do when you wake up at 5 freaking a.m. and working on your shit, right? And how you want to affect the rest of the world moving forward in your life. And like knowing that, like reaching more and more people and getting back messages like the ones you're seeing right now up on the screen. Like, I know that all these numbers have people behind them. Some of them probably are fake. Let's just be real. Even some of the emails, as I found out, I was like, what kind of email is this, right? And I would check it, and I was like, oh, it's a fake one. So sometimes, yeah, that happens, and all that is a blow to your ego, and it just shows you that you're reaching, you're doing a good job. You're reaching where you need to reach, you know? It means you have a wide cast net. The point is that the numbers are what people understand. You know, you need that social proof. So you can't deny that you need to go out there and get likes, right? And get like hearts and shares and all that stuff, because you need that social proof. But never to forget why we push forward these numbers, right? Is because you want to show people that you're the goods. And but you want to do it in an ethical way, right? And you want to do it that means something to you and has heart in the content that you put out. So like, however you balance that, just make sure you've always got some integrity in your, you know, in the way that you market. And so, you know, these people behind these numbers, most of them, hopefully most of you guys are real. I can't guarantee you that. But I work really hard at my craft, and I work really hard to get in front of the people that I think will dig this content. And that's it. You know, that's all those pieces count. And that's just something that I want you guys to take away from this, is that you can work really hard behind the scenes, right? But if you don't go out there and market and sell and be like, look at it, look at this BB-8, this can save your life, or this can make your life easier, right? If you don't do this action, if you don't go here, look at it, look what it does, then you're really never going to get it out there. And I think that's just kind of the thing that maybe introverts like myself and people who, like, I would believe, like, I'm not good at sales, right? And just like shut the whole thing down, right? I'm not good at marketing. I'm not good at that. Need to understand, like, you need to be able to do this and be confident. Like, this BB-8 right here, this is the shit. Check it out. Look what it does. Isn't that awesome? Like, you should be able to say that about the shit that you're selling, or your message, right? And I say the word selling because I want to drill it into my mind and your mind that it's not a bad word. Of course, there are bad examples out there, but like, it's all your mentality. It's all the way that you frame the world. So I'm going to use this word and selling. I'm not going to use this word, and I'm not going to let it scare me out of doing business for myself, doing business and making things that I love, and dealing with people that I also love too, right? I'm not going to let it scare me anymore, like it did for how many years. Okay. So good things, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. You got something good out of it. I know it's kind of all over the place because I don't 100% understand it, but like, that's as best as I can like put it out for you right now and share that with you and share my theory as to why things are working. So I hope that you were able to understand it, and moving forward, I'll probably have a much more cleaner presentation of that. But for serious, like, that was the best I can do. I'm sick right now. I'm sorry. But we will see you here on the lab. And also, there's a free training going on right now. It's going to be happening. Hopefully I will be better for it. And I will have all of my energy and my voice for this free training going on. It's going to be about video branding. So there's a big piece of the pie that I want you to envision, right? And that includes how to do business online successfully. And branding is a big part of that. So I'm going to be doing a free training on that. And that's going to be sometime this week. Okay. And you can register for that in the description below. So thank you so much, guys. Thanks for hanging out. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go lie back down. maybe play with this guy for a minute. And I will see you in the next one. Okay. So once again, my name is Megan, reminding you to get in the lab. We'll see ya. Peace. Hey guys, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this episode. I really appreciate it. BB-8 appreciates it too. I just like holding this thing. It's like it belongs there. Anyway, like this video if you did. Subscribe to become a lab rat today. Leave a comment in the comments telling me about how telling me if you got one of these guys, or did you get the Target exclusive one? Maybe we can compare. Okay, so good things, guys. Thank you so much for watching. You can go to getinTheLab.me to see more episodes just like this, accompanied with all the show notes. So all the shit that I talk about, but like in text form. So if you like reading things instead of watching things, or maybe you missed something when you watched it and you heard it, but you were doing something else, maybe you were cooking, it'll be there in the show notes. Okay, so good things. We'll see you next time. Peace.